Hi, I am Jersel Oshobal, a third-year student at Isabela State University taking up Basic Secondary Education major in Filipino. And this video, I will be sharing with you what did I learn from my subject SED Proof 311, the teacher and the school curriculum. So what is a curriculum? It is a very broad and complex concept. Based on our lesson, we can conclude that curriculum as system that governs all the processes between learning and teaching. In a bigger context, it is to prepare us for the real world by equipping us with knowledge, skills, and values. Curriculum includes what to teach, how to teach it, and what should students achieve by the end of the learning time frame. Developing a curriculum is a dynamic process because it is a subject of change, alteration, or modification. After all, the world is changing and so the society that we learners and citizens have to meet. A great example of this is the implementation of the K-12 curriculum to help our country meet global educational standard and produce globally competitive graduates. Have you ever questioned the underlying philosophy of your educational experience? Why do I have to study math? Why my teacher so strict? How do schools shape my identity? In all likelihood, you have been exposed to a traditional or progressive approach to teaching and learning or combination of both. With the help of your learning experience, we will investigate the aims of these two extreme opposites by exploring the velocity behind the nature of knowledge to perceive ideal students and the kind of society that is advocated. First, we will address how knowledge is viewed with the progressive and traditional education environment. Perhaps, in school days, you have to buy updated textbooks for every subject, and these books will be the ultimate guidelines from which your teachers taught and from where you memorize information for your exams. Dewey would be the first to point out that you will experiencing from distinct characteristics of traditional educations, which assumes that knowledge is completed product of the past organized into subjects, matters, and transmitted onto students. Knowledge taught in schools should be loosely structured to recognize the past reconstructed to suit the current situations with aims for a better future. The second distinction to be assessed between traditional and progressive education lies in the effect of learners to be promoted. Inside the classroom, sitting your own chairs, listening to your teacher while lecturing, you told to remain silent, respectful, and not voice your opinion. This is what students to be expected in the age of traditional setting. Traditional setting emphasized the students' obedience, docile, respectful, abide to rules and teachers' authority. This model is considered an oppression and alienation to students. Contrasting of this tradition, a progressive classroom may consist of students sitting in groups abide themselves, freely investigating, critiquing, and reflecting on the topic of interest, while the facilitator walks around the learning area attending to each student's needs. This approach advocates for learners to be active inquirers and critical thinkers by challenging social norms and constantly read and examining themselves. This model overestimates individual freedom by negating teachers' skills and knowledge. As cited in Nolding's 2015, teachers should facilitate learning as well as provide guidance to direct students in healthy direction. And authority should be utilized effectively not to restrict students' cognition but to help them form their own critical consciousness. In essence, we should reject the promotion of obedient and docile learners in traditional education and encourage students to be active inquirers with crucial help of educators as mentors. And finally, tradition and progressive are differ from the vision of our society. Schools are not only sites of social-cultural reproduction but are institutions that contribute to shaping the social discourses themselves. Traditional is in views the world as statics and fixed to retain a rigid social structures by molding students into specific social rules. This maintains of social high-class hierarchy. Contrary to traditional aims to preserve the such schools by inhibiting critical thinking in students and treat them like midless economic commodities. Progressive education seeks to challenge these existing beliefs by encouraging learners to critically reflect on themselves and the world, a world which is believed a constantly evolving. It is clear that we are aiming for a more democratic and flexible society as means of eliminating harmful social structures while striving to maintain beneficial ones. The differences between traditional and progressive education.